many of us here and there osobola okulwala bangi bano twali tulwaddeko naye si bantu bangi abaali bagambiddwako doctor nti you have just a few months to live. Abantu abasinga tulwala but tetuwulirangako bigambo ebyo nga biva mu kamwa ka doctor. We actually did an actual get together to pray in the chapel of the hospital. I led the prayer session. Man, I was moved. As I was standing there, and I look at the audience, and sometimes you can see pain. Vianey turns to me and says, Pastor, help me. Bwe kiba nga kituufu nti nno ngenda kufa in the next few months, njagala nfiire awali abantu bange. Bwe tukimanya nti nno eno y'essaala ye kugenda waka. So kano katimu akatono akatondebwawo, we resolve nti buli kyonna kye tugenda okukola is pointing towards that.
Ekigambo community kigambo kikulu. Mu video yaffe eya wiiki ya leero ngenda kuleetera olugero lwa mwami Vianey Mubiru, omwami abadde awangalira e Toronto eyalwala obulwadde n'atuuka ku mbeera nga kyasaba kimu kuzibwayo Uganda. Ngenda kulaga community y'e Toronto ey'Abannayuganda bwe yasobola okujja wamu okumuwa ekyo kye yali ayagala. Abantu abasinga amazima gali nti bwe yandibadde ggwe oyinza okusanga ne family yonna ne beekwata wamu tebasobola kukola community y'e Toronto ey'Abannayuganda kye yakoze. I hope you enjoy this video and I hope ofunamu ekyokuyiga. Channel yaffe eno eri supported by Crane Cargo. Crane Cargo ye company yokka eri reliable abasindika ebintu okuva mu US nga babitwala e Uganda, batwala ebintu byonna okuva ku motoka bintu bya waka n'ekintu kyonna ky'oba oyagadde. Bakubire ku simu yaabwe +1 781 288 2042. Bagambe Paradise yakusindise obakozesa discount code Paradise 10 basobole okuwa discount yo.
He's originally from Uganda, by the way, and he is also part of the bigger Busoga community because I got to know about him when I was working with the Basoga in Canada to prepare for the coming of the king. And he's very passionate about so many things, but he was first in the US before crossing over. And for whatever reasons that made him cross over, I may not be able to share here, but what I know, he crossed over to come to Canada, and then he would come here like in 2018 and go back, and then he finally came here 2021, I think, and then he started establishing his settlements kind of journey like that. And he was okay. He was a very friendly guy. He had a lot of friends. He had people that he hung out with. He has a family here. He has a boy and a wife here. And he has a very large community that supported him, but also he is a philanthropist, if I may say as well, because he established foundations, he established charities, because he supports women, widows, he supports orphans. And up to now, that's one of his actually asks, that people that want to donate to him or people that can be able to support him can support his orphanage, or people who want to partner with him to be able to continue supporting this charity.
I had met Vianey only once, and that was through Mr. Willobo George. So he has a project we run an organization called the Uganda Community Center and then Global Events Canada. But at that time, Renasoko Musinkana, yali ayagala Global Events Canada to help him launch his book. So George assigned us to go and meet him, have an interview with him, get his expectations of the launch, and then we can take on the project. So for me as Carol, I will tell you that I had first met Vianey only once in my entire life. Yes, and it was just for a few minutes. So when I think when I was seeing Kanira, he was beginning to go through his unfortunate illness. Yeah, so after that we didn't really keep in touch. So one of those days mbadde ndi awo George nankubira nagamba nti ojjukira client gwe twali tulina okuyamba nti yes, I think there is a bigger problem, we need to step in. Nemubuuza, okay, take me through. Nambuulira, okay, we drove to the hospital, GRD. We reached there, the situation was not good. And so, of course, as events planners, and that's what we're good in, we started a committee immediately. It was interesting to find out that yali achanzijukira. Era bwe nayingira eddwaliro nasanyuka, is like, oh, Carol, Ozee. I'm like, hey, you still remember my name? It was also impressive, you know.
I have a very personal connection with him. There was a time when he struggled here and there, but he had a deep respect for me, so much that even I was overwhelmed by it. But in detail ekyo. Many of us here and there osobola okulwala, bangi bano twali tulwaddeko, naye si bantu bangi abaali bagambiddwako doctor nti you have just a few months to live. Abantu abasinga tulwala but tetuwulirangako bigambo ebyo nga biva mu kamwa ka doctor nti otegedde Eddie, olinayo emyezi mitono, so do whatever you need to do. Tetugenda bibino ebigambo bamugamba, tetugenda genda maaso nga tukola technically doctor kyeyandise treatment. At this point we can only try to keep you comfortable. Ebigambo ebyo bamala bigamba Vianey wasa atula nabyo akaseera. Then at some point, from different people visiting him, a conversation about reality really kicks in, and that conversation was, at this point, what is the most important thing? Vianey, through different conversations now that I'm aware of how it unfolded, it becomes clear that right now, the most important thing for Vianey, genda waka, abeere awali mama we, awali abaana babalala, awali family ye, his biological family. That is the most important thing.
Yes, so netukola committee awa mangu netu inviting abantu ku Zoom. We took it on like personal, like this is our brother, you know, and the community responded so positively.
Bwe tumala okukimanya ekyo nti tulina munnaffe ali mu ddwaliro, badokita bamugambye nti olinayo ebiseera bitono to live. Right now, call what is most important for you. Call the people that you want to call. Speak to whoever you need to be speaking with. Mukaseera kano because ebiseera tokyalinayo bingi. Bwe tukimanya nti nno eno yesaala ye kugenda waka. So kano katimu akatono akatondebwawo, we resolve nti buli kyonna kye tugenda okukola is pointing towards that. Buli effort kye tugenda okukola is pointing towards okwanukula esaala ye.
The doctors had given us, I think, about between 1 to 3 months, but as days went by, of course, things would go changing. But I'm believing that he will live longer than that.
We actually did an actual get together to pray in the chapel of the hospital. I led the prayer session. Man, I was moved. As I was standing there, and I look at the audience, and sometimes you can see pain in the room. You can see deep pain in the room. I could see very deep pain in the room. And all those people, again, community. Actually, simanyi wali atali muna Uganda. Chapel ngejjudde. The chapel of St. Michael's Hospital was full. I think if I'm not mistaken, the only people that were not Ugandans there were the spiritual care team of the hospital, so abazungu basatu, the doctor naye yeti yajja na mu service twamuleka waggulu. The rest were Ugandans. Abamu nga baali tebamumanyi namumanyi, si buli yali mu room eyo nti namumanyi.
The day we went to the hospital to see and make the committee, we assigned ourselves our duties. And we gave ourselves the timeline in which all those duties should be executed, just because the doctors brought us up to speed, the actual condition here, Vianey. So we didn't have much time to deal around. But also as Global Events and the other team members we were working with, we are result-oriented people, all of us that were in those fundraising committees or groups, yeah. So we assigned ourselves roles, and everybody had to get their feet dirty to see that this comes out. That same day, we rolled out the fundraising with a Zoom meeting, which had about 100 people for the first day. Yeah, and I think the first day we closed with about 4,000 to 5,000 of the funds that were collected.
We now investigate logistics. How much would it cost for Vianey to land in Uganda? Okay, the best way the doctor would be very comfortable would be to get the airplane, to make an arrangement, a medical travel or something. Okay, how much is that? It's between $80,000 to $100,000. All of us say, exactly that was the response. And remember, no. Totally change your mindset. Let's not have a conversation about mitwalo komi, because we know that is out of reach. We need to explore other options. So other options, the doctor wasn't very comfortable with them because he wasn't sure what we are going to put in place for him to travel in a way that would be safe, so that he doesn't die on the plane because of the airplane conditions. Long story short, we realized that the amount of money that is needed is big. Whether we do the other simpler option or we were not going to do the other option anyways. So the simpler option was at least quickly when we calculated, a minimum of $20,000, a minimum. That tutandika campaign. Right now, Nyinza, I don't know, I think I might be able to. Right now, if I may, let me see. I just want to see if I can find something quickly. So just chenjagala okulaga the number of people. 340 people asembayo wono wansi. Andrew asembayo, and this list continues to go. In fact, agamba more donations to be recognized in the next update. But as of today, 344 people. I might even go as far as stating nti buli muntu ali muno muna Uganda. I might even take that leap. I'm just doing a quick thing here. Okay, bwemba mwatali muna Uganda, it is maybe 0.05% mwatali muna Uganda.
If anything that delayed us was the fit to fly. But if it was not so, because what happened was the doctors here at St. Michael were very cooperative. As a matter of fact, they got us connected to a Give a Mile organization. It's a charity organization that gets involved in this kind of complicated cases. Yeah, na ye kati nga airline inabasawo nabo abalina okwaprovinga.
Mwendo bwetumala ogumanya nti muneko, we actively start fundraising. Wanawadde 10, wanawadde olw'ataano, wanawadde 2. Eyo no nayo example kanjikwe kubanga emitwalo gino 3,200 ate nga even as I speak here and there abantu bakyawaayo. Tezazze lwakuba omuntu yazze n'atuwa omutwalo gumu kitundu. No. In fact, tewali muntu yatuwa sente. In fact, zitukana mu 5,000. Yes, nalabayo 10,000. Tewali muntu yajja n'agamba gugu n'omutwalo. No.
Kuna 3, 5
Okitegedde nanyumyanga
2.
Waliwo naye waayo olw'10. Nga lwalina.
So abasawo abawano nga balina kubaweereza reports za Vianey nabo babeere sure. So we even had to go ahead and book tickets just to show them that we are serious about this. Naye we talk about our tickets, of course, the airline team, medical team, has the final say. As a matter of fact, even after the Give a Mile had bought the tickets, there was still a disclaimer anti singa Vianey took up airport and the cabin crew team etambula naye n'alaba nti tali mu condition ennungi bajja kuba balina olukusa okumusstopping. That meant that either fe abagenze naye ku airport tuba tukomawo naye or those were the two things.
Because Give a Mile deals with these cases quite often, they themselves have what you call like a liaison officer that deals with the airlines almost on a daily. So they know how they operate. So they influenced the process. And in the end, we got an emergency flight approval by the airline doctor. And that was a success because our hope were actually dwindling. And when we got this airline offer also, remember, our patient needed also an upgrade. So we had to upgrade that air ticket from a premium economy to a business class ticket so that the patient can go when he's comfortable. And then also we had to get a caregiver, a nurse. So imagine somebody from the community offering to escort Vianey from Toronto to Kampala at no cost, but as a volunteer. Now that also signifies a lot.
After so many boxes have been checked, Dr. Jonathan comes ng'angamba nti Eddie, everything is cleared. I've come here to tell Vianey, nabaddeyo ne mwami Rubulo. I've come to tell Vianey that either he can leave tomorrow or he can leave on Wednesday. So that was Monday. Kati Vianey teyakiwulidde. Kati nemugamba doctor, leka musemberere ku kuttu mubuulire bulungi ky'omugambye. Oba gwe musemberere just speak louder akuwulire. Doctor asembera, he speaks louder, amubuulira. Vianey lit up. Pastor, God really answers prayers. Nemugamba, yeah, God really answers prayers. It is all checked off. Buli obstacle kali checked off. You are going home. Kakati nga Vianey angamba, no, mugambe tugende enkya. Because bamugambye batubuuza tulondeko ne bagamba, what? Kasita Vianey waali wano ayogera ategerera ddala bulungi katumugambe yaba alondako. Vianey n'agamba tugende enkya. Kati mama wa baby agamba no naye maybe twandigenze ku luli oluddako tusooke waliwo ebintu ebiri mu storage maybe tusooke tubisorting ombuulire ebiki ebyokusuula biki ebyokukuuma. Vianey turns to me and says, Pastor, help me. Omubuulire to appreciate, to understand nti ne bw'oba oyagala tugende today right now ku dakiika eno, I am ready. Ebintu ebiri mu storage mubufuuze kati nendowooza waliyo maybe just obuntuntu maybe a microwave or little things. Kati mbuuza mama baby nti storage bintu biki ebiriyo. Angamba it's a full storage, like ebintu byonna bye yalina mu nyumba ye, all his belongings biri mu storage. So in other words, it's not like one little kameza katono, no. Ebintu byonna all your belongings buli mu wano olina gy'obeera bw'oba obadde wano for some time ne bwe guba mwaka obaako n'ebintu byo by'ogamba these are my belongings. At that point nga Vianey ali mu kukulaga nti none of those possessions mattered. What mattered? People. Ngali mu kulaga nti no mu kaseera kano ebintu is not important. Abantu is what is important. Mama abaana be bagenda okulaba bwe kiba mu mutima gwe ng'agamba nti bwe kiba nga kituufu nti nno ngenda kufa in the next few months, njagala nfiire awali abantu bange, sawali ebintu byange.
On Tuesday, that whole night, the entire team spent the night awake. Because we had to upgrade the tickets. We had overspent our limits on all the cards, trying to do all the different, And so we had to do the upgrade at the check-in the next day of his flight. Yeah. So, I remember we spent the night awake. At 5, all of us were on the road to the airport because we need to get there on time, see that everything is cleared for him to fly. But it was successful.
Vian right now is successful in Uganda. He's under the care of a specialized hospital in Uganda, and his condition is stable, but of course is under surveillance and support, clinical support by the doctors.
At the moment, we've been in touch with the hospital back home, the nurses that are continuing the palliative care. He's doing fairly well. Of course, the care cannot be the same, the care system. Here and here, we are trying to see how best we can keep supporting him. It's been emotional, to be honest with you. Kubango tukechise anolaba nti ate bwemuta oba bwenchivaamu. How will it be?
We are yet to now hand over everything to the family, but also making sure that we monitor his progress as time goes. But he's at least, he arrived safe, arrived alive, and that was the most important thing.
It's emotional when you speak to him and to his mother at the moment. Because first of all, it's like a dream. Nabote banaba kukiza actually Vianey ali waka, you know, mulamu. Yeah, but that all goes back to appreciating the grace of God, you know. Kubango msawa ayogera chiche na ine katonda bana chiche. Bwe yatuuka waka, they had to bring in quite a lot of things that the doctors, the other side, are wondering how did this guy travel in this condition, right? Because from their assessment, it feels like they would not even approve if it were them. Yeah, but as of today, he's in good condition. He's being taken care of. Aina mama we, aina wo baganda be, abana be bali around him. He can talk, he can smile, you know. Yeah, and we're still hopeful until Jack pushing a little longer, even.
Vianey is not gwandigamye nti yes abadde elder abadde wano myaka 3 you know abadde wano aziise buli muntu. No, absolutely not. There are many people, the 344 people, many of them babadde tebamumanyi. Gino emitwalo 3.2 egyasobozesezza Vianey okutambula very comfortably, everything considered in terms of the plane, zaavuddemu olw'10, olw'2, olw'3, olw'2, olw'5, olw'10. Tewali yaleese emitwalo 2.1.
What this has showed me is that it is actually possible to bring people together. It's actually possible for Ugandans to have what we call a common goal.
But kino kitulaze nti community nga bwe nkugambye nti erina abantu abalungi, they're supportive, they come through when there is need. And what we need nga ffe abali mu diaspora is unity and oneness.
So I cannot overemphasize this, and I'm glad I don't have to fetch stories and examples from books. I'm only talking about the life I've seen with my own eyes and I've heard with my own ears about the impact of abantu, the impact of community. In fact, I don't think there is much wisdom mu muntu yenna ayisaamu abantu amaaso. What we saw says more about the community than Vianey as a person.
Echisache tochinyoma chirina manyi okulokola abakoye nokubaonya echisache tochinyoma chirina manyi okulokola bakoye nokubaonya linda Yesu linda Yesu linda Yesu yalina manyi agayamba abakoye linda Yesu yo linda Yesu linda Yesu yalina manyi agayamba abakoye linda Yesu yo agayamba